In the near future, we're going to see a lot of more people crashing out. We're going to see a lot more young males and people just going crazy, you know. And the mainstream media is wondering why. They're wondering why a lot of males, especially young ones, in their 20s and even early 30s, a lot of men are just kind of opting out of society. They wake up, they go to work, and that's that's this, that, and the third. They're not out there trying to look for women. They're not out there trying to talk to these girls and shit like that. And to the older generation, it seems weird. But they don't understand that the older generation didn't face this type of incineration. They didn't face this type of economic obliteration. They didn't face this type of economic turmoil that a lot of these young people are facing. It's very difficult to find a 9 to 5. And then once you find the 9 to 5, you have to be likable, you have to be acceptable, and you have to be somewhat social. Because if you just go there and you're not talking, people can be like, hey man, this guy never talks. What's wrong with him? So you have to be likable. That's even when you sell products. You have to be a likable person. You know what I mean? I was reading this one book and it was talking about how people buy products from people that kind of remind them of themselves. That's the reason why marketing is so important. That's the reason why visual marketing is so important. That's why you see back in the 1950s, 60s, and shit like that, in the 40s, when you seen commercials and when you seen advertisement, they'll show you a certain skin color configuration of people that's in a dominant position, and as people fought for their rights. FBAs, Foundational Black Americans, fought for their rights and things of that nature. Now you're starting to see the proliferation and integration of other types of nations in these marketing campaign schemes. But no matter what race, no matter, what you're going through, this world doesn't really give a fuck if you're a man, you know what I mean, that's not rich or successful. I've seen some land whales, some girls that weren't very attractive, be able to get love in their life, and it's crazy because I know a lot of people are facing loneliness right now. They're facing isolation. They're facing desolation. Their mind is snapping. They're missing people in their lives. There's people in my life who did me wrong, and I used to miss them. But as I got older, I understand those people weren't good for me. They're always doing troublesome things and bad things. And I was saying in my channel before it got terminated by JTube, certain people can lead you to do activities that you wouldn't normally do, and you got to be careful of that. You want to surround yourself with good people, with good hearts, good minds, good spirits, and things of that nature. You always want to be around people that always want to support you. And a lot of people, especially when you get over the age of 21, 25, and if you're a man and you don't have a solid friend group by that age range, you're pretty much screwed. Your life is going to consist of waking up, going to work, pay bills, nothing else. Because as people become adults, they meet their significant other, they have children, their lives get busier, they get, so they don't got time to kick it no more. They don't got time to, freestyle in the car from 12 o'clock to 3:30 a.m. anymore, or pull up those all-nighters we used to pull about 15 years ago when we was in high school, where we'll pull up, even though it's a school night. I remember there was nights where we had football games, and I'll still pull up for all-nighter on a Thursday, playing some Gears of War, some Call of Duty with the boys at the time, smoking, you know what I mean, and it was fun, and there's people that get to live their life like that now, these YouTubers and streamers, and it's interesting. And I hear a lot of them complain, talking about loneliness and isolation, how they'd be 22 years old with $20 million, and they talk about how lonely they are and how hard their life is. And I'm like, you guys have no idea. You have no idea to have nothing in life, to have demons coming into your mind and trying to attack you. Then you have to deal with that. Then you have to deal with, you have a talent, you have a gift, and you could be a chosen one. You know what I mean? And everybody around you can see something in you and hate you. And you just maybe need a little confidence boost in yourself, but you are trapped in isolation and desolation. And you make a YouTube channel when it takes off. Now you had another channel previously, multiple channels. You had one channel, you have over 700 videos, freestyling, nobody gave a fuck. The minute you start to speak your mind, then you gain an audience, and the next thing you know, a year later, it gets taken from you. Your family finds out about it. People send your videos to your mom. They send it to her stepdad. They impersonate you and pretend that's in the third. People find your channel and send it to your family members and shit like that. And now they're watching every video to see if you're talking about them, but that's not even on your mind because you're beyond that. I'm not here to throw petty insults at people. I'm not here to troll somebody. At my age, I'm trying to find significant economic solid foundation, so I can build and achieve the things that I want to achieve. And it's hard when you don't have no one who believes in you and no one who gives a fuck about you, especially as a man, a grown man. Then you got to deal with random people who you don't know who attack you. They don't know you. They just take a look at you and want to attack you. You're just minding your business, not bothering anybody. They want to attack you, then be silent about it like they didn't just do what they just did. You know what I mean? And you have to be strong. You have to understand, okay, this is just negative energetic manifestational frequency manifesting itself in a physical formality. And it's trying to get a fomentation or degradation from me. And I'm not going to have it. You know, I'm going to focus on my music as Superstar. I just talked to Superstar O yesterday. He told me to stay hard. He told me to stay, keep going hard, bro. Go 150%. Keep going, man. I know you're going through a lot. Keep going. You know, I saved the message, you know what I mean? So every time, you know, I feel like, damn, I don't feel like making beats today, or damn, I don't feel like making a video today, or damn, you know, I'm in a position, I'm just going to read that and keep going. Even now, but I can't, and it sucks because, like, I can't be as raw as I really want to be, you know what I mean? Because, you know, the situation I'm in is, you know, but there's going to be a proliferation in the future about a lot more guys crashing out, you know. We've seen the Charlie Kirk situation, and we've seen many situations recently, from the stabbing on the subway to the other person being murdered, to like people shooting in schools, until that one guy, I think somebody ambushed this one person, ambushed 5 police officers in a cornfield or something like that. So much shit's going on. And one thing you have to notice is that this negativity is being pushed for a reason. You know, people are being brainwashed by the media propaganda that they consume. They watch certain news sources, they listen to certain people, and a lot of people have, let's be real, a lot of people have racial bias. Let's just be real. And the most hated race on the planet is mine. You know, just be real. You get attacked out of nowhere just for existing. You could be going through something, just got kicked out, just got doxxed. You sitting on the patio, mind your business, trying to make beats. Somebody can see that and say, oh, this person, it's a black person. Let me fucking put my dog on the patio and have him piss and shit on him. You know what I mean? And act like nothing's happening, you know? And they know exactly what they're doing deliberately to attack you, you know? And you're just minding your business, you know? You walk down the street, you know, the cops just pull up on you. Especially where I'm at now, it's, you know, it's just police a lot of times, you know, and it's like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, they just pull up, you know, and it's like, fuck, you know what I mean? Like, I really feel like, bro, a lot of us in this situation, if we were around the right people, we would be able to grow and develop a lot more faster and have a lot more fruition in our past that we've chosen in this world. You know, I always said, man, if I would have met Superstar O in 2008, we'd have been best friends, and I wouldn't be in this position I'm in now. All I ever wanted to do was make music and make money, do things that were creative, write my books, make my beats, and somehow build a brand around that. And it's crazy that I had to be able to get a brand by speaking. No one listened to me before when it was music. No one cared that I rapped. No one cared that I made beats until I started speaking my mind and talking about thoughts and bops and how this world works. And then now everybody want to listen. And then it gets big enough to the point where family members find out, random people online go and dig through and find. It's like, are these guys federal agents? You know, they're the real federal agents. They got files on me. They got pictures of me. They got my name. They got my face. They got this. It's like, okay, you got my face. What are you going to do with it? Troll all day? When you see me in real life, you're not going to say anything. You know, I'm nice and I'm very polite and I don't start things. But I can go from 0 to 1,000 in a second. That's why I like to avoid a lot of confrontations, because I know what I did when I was younger. You know? Yeah. I'm not going to talk more. So that's why I try my best to try to avoid, you know, negative situations and connotations. I try to not bother nobody. I try to just stick in my lane and try to build up my own way of making money, you know, so I can be successful myself and I can get my own position of power and get my own peace, you know, because you can never truly be yourself. You can never truly be a man if you don't have power, or have at least power over your life. And a lot of us, we get isolated, we get rejected and dejected by society as a whole. And they call you all these negative derogatory terms to try to break you, but they never try to strengthen you. They never try to say things that uplift you. They never, ever, ever do that, you know? And it's absolutely brutal. You have to walk this path alone, you know? Like in this background picture, I chose this because it just represents desolation perfectly. The mist in the background, a lonely person right there. And in this situation, I feel like I'm saying I'm part of some interplanetary pirate gang or whatever, and they're inside there. They took over a nearby facility, and I'm just like, man, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of seeing this violence and this crap and this shit. I'm just gonna walk off. Hey, bro, take me a smoke real quick. All right, man, be back in the midst of fun. Yeah. And I just walk off, and I'm just on this little old abandoned bridge part. And I'm just like, just thinking like, how the fuck did I become a pirate, or how the fuck did I become this, that, and the third? You know, sometimes life will make you reflect, and when you reflect, you think that, damn, If I would have had this, if I would have had that, if I had this, I would have had that. You know, I would have been able to achieve that, this, and the third. Like I said, man, if Nick Mara was my best, if Taz Taylor was my best friend, or Nick Mara, imagine how far I'd be in music. All you need is that one person, what's his name? Okay, Illmind. That's his name, Illmind. He was like, you're one beat away from changing your life. You know, and I try to believe that, but it's hard when you're around so much hate, negativity, and desolation. It's hard, man. But you got to stay strong. See, music gives me life. I love music. I love making beats. I love opening up FL Studio and coming up with a sound. I love it. You know, I may not be the best, you know what I mean, but I love it. You know, I'm just going to get better as the years grow, but I'm old. You know, I'm not a youngster. I'm not a young chicken no more, you know. And that's another thing, man. You see, the mental degradation of the mind is one of the worst things that can happen to a person. Once your mind goes, your soul goes. And once your soul goes, your body goes. You know? It's brutal, you know? But yeah, man, if you're lonely out there, if you feel like, you know, you lost your girlfriend, you lost, you know, family members, you lost something, and you're hurting inside, bro, and you don't know what to do, man, all I can tell you, man, is try to find your passion in life and put your heart and soul into it, man. That's all I can tell you. Peace.